Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the NFC. So we completed the AFC predictions. There was a couple of similar ones, and the good news is there's quite a few different ones, which will keep it interesting as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Because nothing more boring than if we all pick the exact same stuff. But let's go into the NFC, and we'll start with the East again. We're going to go East, West, North, South. The East is probably the best in the NFC, just given that 3 made the playoffs last year from it.
Outside of the West, yeah. I mean, I think...
Well, no, but I have gone, and this took all... I'm a Giants fan, and this took all my kind of try and be right rather than be with your heart, and I decided to leave the Giants at 3. So I've gone Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Commanders. I think the Cowboys, I'm not saying they've strengthened, but I think Pollard being the only running back will definitely help them.
Help them.
I think it will help them. I think knowing that you're getting all the reps, knowing that you're the number one, I still think he's going to be a superstar at running back. I think they've got quite a good schedule this year, and the defence is insane, right? I think it's as good as it gets. The Eagles, I think they'll have a bit of a lull after the Super Bowl defeat. I think that happens. We talked about them losing a couple of coaches. They've lost a couple of defenders. They've changed the running backs, but I think they've actually upgraded in that department. But I still think they'll be second. The Giants, I think they had an all-time season last year, and although it looks like they've strengthened a little bit, certainly at tight end, I just don't think they'll get the same luck.
Run through that order for me again, mate.
Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders. Commanders are 4th for a reason. They have a great defence. They just have a quarterback. They picked some kid again to run things. Yeah.
And who's the word is the Rivera's got the pump, hasn't he?
Yeah.
They've just been bought for $6 or $7
billion. Yeah.
Jesus, different gravy. When you
and again, they were in the market for Lamar. They were one of the top 3 bids for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
They get Lamar. That's a team that I think wins the NFC. That's how good Lamar is.
Brilliant. Teddy McLaurin.
They got McLaurin. They got Dotson. Who Jahan Dotson looks as year 2 is going to be a decent wide receiver, but they just don't have a quarterback, and they'll be starting from scratch with him.
Yeah.
And again, it's a tight, tough division. But I've gone Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders.
Okay. Just a small alteration to that, giving you the correct order, which is Eagles number 1, which should be an absolute no-brainer. I think for me, it's up in the air with the next 3. The reason being is each has their major weaknesses. Cowboys for me is coaching and losing McKinnon to the Chargers. That is the offensive coordinator, albeit brilliant. A lot of the teams, Commanders and Cowboys having brilliant defenses, but I'll go Cowboys 2, Giants 3, purely on the basis they've got Waller, and if they can keep him fit, it's another option.
Mm-hmm.
If the Commanders had anyone of note at quarterback, I'd definitely have them 3, but I'll go Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Giants 3, Commanders 4. So just
one change, but you also think Cowboys are closer to the Giants than they are to the Eagles. I think the Cowboys will win that division, and I think they'll win it well because they get 12, and they score the most points in the NFL anyway, right? They average 35 to 40 points a game, and they have a great defense. Wait a minute, and they have a great defense. Calm down, you asked me. Yes, he throws picks, but he throws touchdowns as well, and I think they're not going to change, right? I think they're going to score 30, 40 points a game, and the defense is great.
Do you think Lance gets a game?
I'm not sure. Certainly not to start with. Certainly not till halfway through the season. But again, I think the squad's good enough to win the Super Bowl, and I think this could be the year they do it.
What's the hindrance? Would you agree it's McCarthy?
No, I think he's a winning coach. I get it.
Managing the clock, they couldn't get one play in 16 seconds, and they got.
Everyone makes mistakes. I think he's not a bad coach, and I think there's a lot of really good talent in that team.
I think Dak as a leader is better than Dak as an actual quarterback. I really like him as a person.
I still think he at least goes for it. He throws interceptions, but he throws touchdowns, and they know that they'll win it back with the defence.
Yep.
I think they'll beat the Eagles. Like I said, I'm probably more betting on the Eagles being poorer than the Cowboys being better to win that division.
Yeah.
But I still think the Cowboys will get 12, 13 wins. I just think they're a hard team to beat.
Are you willing to take a big shoey on that one?
Yeah, I'll take that. I think the Cowboys win that.
I think the Eagles win by a mile, but we'll do
I think the Cowboys win that easy, and I think the Eagles will be 2 or 3 wins behind.
Okay. I'll kick off NFC West, which up until a couple of years ago was
what used to be the biggest and best division.
Yeah, the toughest division, I think, with the Rams falling off the gravy train post Super Bowl, and the Cardinals, as we discussed in our trends of the. I think they're going to be.
You think they're going to
tank? So number 1, I'll have my pick for the Super Bowl, the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
number 1, Seahawks.
Number 2,
wow,
Seahawks.
what a revival. Hey, you sell...
Number 2, Seahawks.
You trade Russell.
Yeah, you trade your Super Bowl winning quarterback, and you think this team's going to have a 5-year
let Russ cook. Everyone was signing
rebuild.
Russ.
They had their second best season.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll's just shown that he's still very much one of the...
He's an old dog. It still has track.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Obviously, it helped that they, I think, landed for a little while.
I think most people would agree that the draft they got last year, the 5 draft picks, and they were all guns. They got the Kobe Bryant, who turned out to be a gun.
Yeah, shoots a good 3.
Kobe. But yeah, they literally...
Until he got injured.
They drafted so well, and they actually said that apart from the Eagles, who everyone agreed drafted the best this year, because they got Carter at like 8 or 10 or something, and then they got the other boy, from the Bulldogs late again, which I think was everyone else's mistake, and they just were lucky to get them. But anyway, you get the kudos for being the best draft. They said the Seahawks were the second best draft again, like the way they picked the best at every position they could have, and again they'll be stronger. They won't win that division because the 49ers are in it, but they will definitely get second.
He just seems so much more polished. He's always had a good arm,
but he's also got a great attitude, and I love that about him. Like, he's like,
apparently he did it.
I was happy being the 3rd quarterback on $9 million a year, because it's a sweet ride. It's a sweet deal, and I'm doing the job I love. Now I'm getting $30 million a year, and I'm the number 1. It hasn't changed anything. I still love it. You know what I mean? It's like he's got a real down to earth kind of feel.
Yeah, no, that's it for me. So 49ers 1, Seahawks 2, Rams quite far off the front 2 at 3, and Cardinals even further back at 4.
So that is correct.
Yeah.
So I won't have to tell you how the correct one is, because I have the exact 4. I've got 49ers, Seattle, Rams, and Kansas. This is an easy one, to be honest. This is one of the easiest ones in the whole thing. Of the 8 divisions, I think this is the easiest one. 49ers will definitely win the West. It won't even be close. They'll be up there as a Super Bowl contender. My doubts on them winning the Super Bowl is the quarterback. I don't think he's good enough in the big clutch moments when you need to beat a Philadelphia or a Cowboys, or you need to beat a Bills or a Chiefs.
Who? Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
What's giving you that impression?
They
got injured.
I know he got injured, but I feel like I just don't think.
Did you not think he was a baller? One of these guys that sort of.
No, I think the team's a baller. I think the team's a baller.
Yeah, but
right?
you don't think he went? He didn't go into shell at all.
He didn't go into shell. I just don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, and I think to win the Super Bowl, you need it. I mean, look at the 2 quarterbacks in the Super Bowl this year. They were Hurts and Mahomes, right? Top.
In any other 4 offense, I'd agree with that, but not in this one.
Yeah, it's just an argument. Just a debate. I think they have the best squad in the whole NFL. I'm wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
And I think they won't win it because of the quarterback. Anyway.
Yeah.
But they will win the division easily. Seattle will definitely be number 2. The Rams could be a surprise and be closer to Seattle, right? But again, I've got the Rams as a no idea, but not no idea in a good way. No idea as in they could be 3 wins or they could be 6 or 7 wins.
Yeah.
I don't see them getting into the 9s and 10s and making the playoffs.
As good as McVay is, Donald's.
I think McVay offered his resignation, right? And they said, no, we don't want to lose you, the best coach in the league.
Yeah.
But he knows that they chucked all the toys at the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
They got it done.
And they got it done, right? Now, 49ers have chucked everything at it in the last year. They need to win it this year as well, or they're screwed. But at least the Rams got it. But now there's that feeling, we've done it, right?
Stafford won't rework his deals. The whole idea is you keep your money, but you make it more team friendly for whatever period.
Anyway,
right?
they got the ring and they're happy, but I think you'll see them near the bottom.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, as we discussed, they could be the worst team in football this year. If they're not, they'll be bottom 5 again, right? And they were bottom 5 this year, right? So
NFC North.
This one's interesting. I think will be different here because I like all 4 teams. I think, and I'll just start with the order. I've got the Lions to win it, number 1.
Wow.
I've got the Vikings number 2.
Yeah.
I've got the Packers number 3 and I've got the Bears number 4.
Right.
And I'll have a little caveat by saying I think the Bears are going to be so much more improved than the worst team in the last year.
A soft spot, a perennial underachievers.
I think they have drafted really well. They used that number 1 pick to get 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
Right. I think
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore's going to be outstanding. Now this is where we see if Fields can throw and not just run. And if he can throw, then this team isn't just going to... I'm going to get it wrong. This team could be playoff team, right?
Yeah.
But I've still got them bottom because it's quite a decent division. The Lions looked great last year. They won so many games in the end of the season. The Vikings, the reason I've got them second, although they won 13 games, I think 7 of them were one-score games.
Yeah.
And most people are saying that's luck rather than skill. You can't keep winning all those close games. Eventually they'll become losses.
Yeah.
So I've got them number 2, I've got Lions number 1, and I've got Packers number 3, just purely the love from Rodgers is a big drop. But again, that squad is a Super Bowl winning squad with a good quarterback. But we'll see if Love is capable of doing anything with them, because I think they could only win 6 or 7 games, and they actually have a really tough roster. A really tough fixture list, schedule. Yeah. So I've got them at 3, and again, feel sorry for the Bears because I could get that massively wrong, but I've got the Bears at 4.
This is a tough one, mate. As you said, I'm literally Uber and Ari. I should have probably checked the schedule based on what you said there earlier. He's 100% right in terms of Vikings. Usually when you get those one-score games, they had the biggest comeback in history last year against the
Bills.
Not the Bills.
They came back against the Bills. They came back against the Giants. The biggest comeback was against... Yeah, you're right.
I think it was the Colts. That's who
it was. It was.
They came back against the Colts, 33 points down or something unbelievable. As you said, they've got Jefferson, who's top 3 wide receiver.
I think he's number 1.
Yeah.
I think he's number 1.
But then you've got a guy that, for me, is a top 15 quarterback thrown to him. So I
think he's top 10, and I think he's very underrated. Kirk Cousins, but he's very overpaid, which is why he's underrated. Right? Yeah, because when he left Washington to go to...
Comes across as such a nice guy, doesn't he?
He's brilliant in the documentary. He's brilliant in real life.
Absolute negotiating machine.
And when they put his stats up, they show he's top 5 for most things, but because he was the highest paid quarterback ever when he moved from Washington to the Vikings, they always undergrade him and go, well, he's no Mahomes, he's none of this, right? Yeah. And his playoff record's terrible, right? Which is fine, but I still think he's a top 10 quarterback.
I do think he shrinks in big games, don't they?
Yeah, and that might be fair. It might be fair.
Well, that's a narrative, yeah. I mean,
that doesn't matter with the division stuff.
No, it doesn't. But I did hear an NFL insider, the guys that are obviously across all the teams in detail, say that once you get the Shanahan, McVays, the guys that have come out of that same sort of coaching tree.
Yeah, they've got O'Connell who's from that tree.
Yeah, when you get a couple of those boys having a few drinks, they all reckon Kirk Cousins can basically do everything.
They say that they show the film on Kirk Cousins when they're trying to show other people how to do it.
Yeah.
Right, but again, there's obviously something between the ears when it comes to the pressure.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've got them winning.
I've got them just. The Lions are obviously trending massively upwards again. Dan Campbell. Seems like an emotional leader for them.
It looks like he's going to cry every time he does a speech. Yeah. But he's the type of guy he's going to get you a run through a brick wall. And in American football, surely that's the number one skill from a coach.
Especially in a play-by-play sort of game.
Or a half-time speech. You know what I mean? When you're down.
Go out there and ram it down their throats. I've got them too. Jared Goff is again, another guy that I think is underrated.
Played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, his stats at home especially, I think they're extremely tough to beat. Hutchinson, drafted second last year, is a bit of a stud to add to a really good defence. So
I think them more attacks with it exciting now.
Yeah,
I think the wide receiver core is awesome.
Strong, yeah.
And once the boy Williams, who's now got a ban and had an injury last year, he was the Alabama stud. Once he's fit,
who was the number 1 champion last year?
They've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's amazing.
Yeah.
He's a top 5 in my opinion. But what I'm saying, when they get Williams back as well, they're going to be a force because they're going to have 2 real strong. Wide receivers.
Where we differ, mate, is I'm going for my soft spot team, the
Bears,
mighty Bears.
And again, what did I just say? I could be wrong with the Bears. I think they're going to have a much better team.
Mate, I think the whole division's up for grabs, really.
Yeah.
So Bears at 3 purely because I think Justin Fields now has very little excuses as far as I think he's now got the support.
Yep.
I hate it when you get these guys are written off. They're not good. They're not. And they literally got me and you to throw to down the wing.
Well, maybe fine, but you no chance.
Well, make yards after the carry, mate. Unbelievable.
Bit catch it faster.
True. And then Packers at 4 now. I think.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm not arguing it. I mean, I'll pick different, but again, I think Packers and Bears will be close.
I think the word is that both Hackett and Rodgers really sort of shouldered it and really took the initiative on offense, and probably the coach probably left them to it to a large degree.
Right, I discussed this earlier when I said LaFleur is such a pussy when it comes to taking a risk. Like he'd rather go take. I mean, you're 8 points down with 2 minutes to go in a conference final, and they took the 3 right and gave the ball back to Brady.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
go for the touchdown. No,
49ers.
No, it was against the Bucks a couple of years ago when the Bucks won the Super Bowl.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They had the chance to go for the touchdown and then go for the 2 and level it, and instead of going for it. No.
Yeah, okay, conference final. But look, I think despite the unknown, which is Love, I think we'll see a lot more out of their running backs, which is apparently his style. So we'll see.
Well, it's always been, and he's got 2 good running backs in Jones and Dillon. But
so they've got 2 studs now. Again, another big concern is top 5 ranked defense last year going into the season, and they were shocking. So they need to tighten up there, and if they get more running game, they'll be competitive. And let's wait and see how.
Again, I don't think they've drafted well over the last few years. They've made a lot of bad drafts, right? Yeah. And that pays the piper when your team, like a Super Bowl team.
They're like the Pats. They do very well at scrimmage line, offensive, defensive line. They're usually very strong there. And then this is probably the most fortunate organisation where they've had.
But they haven't, just so you know, they haven't been below the Bears in about 20 years, right?
They've had Brett
so that you're picking a real game changer.
You're talking 2 Hall of Famers back to back over the best part of 30 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Jeez, and now they're in no man's land with Love. He could turn out to be half decent.
Decent wide receivers, but you've got to find them. Yeah, okay. And again, I can't argue with it. I've gone against it, but I can't argue with it because I'm hoping the Bears will be better. I don't particularly care about the Packers anymore, or never really did. But I've got Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears. You've got Vikings, Lions, Bears, Packers. So that's probably the one division we have the most difference. We have no one in the same position.
Yep.
So that's good.
NFC South, mate. I'll head it off. This is again a bit of a lottery for me.
Because it's 4 bad teams.
It's 4 bad teams.
This is actually worse than the last division because at least the Lions and Vikings are probably winning teams. You could have 4 losing teams here and one of them has to make the playoffs. Like Bucks made it last year with 9-9.
Yeah, I think Saints are probably the most consistent team.
Don't look at mine. What were you going to say there? You just looked
if I want to look at wrong answers, then I'll have a look, mate.
No, you just looked right at it. There you go.
I've got Saints 1.
Of course you do. Just look at it.
I think between Coach and Bryce Young, who I think is a better version of Tua at the Panthers, I think the Panthers will come in second. Falcons 3. If they had a really good quarterback to reap the rewards of their tight end and the like, again, they might decide to toss the towel in early if they don't get a few wins. And then the Bucks have just fallen off the gravy train.
In very similar vein to the Rams, they gave it everything to win, not just 1 but 2 Super Bowls, but they went back again the next year and were probably the best team. They weren't the best team the year they won the Super Bowl, but you could tell through that season they were becoming an awesome team.
Yeah.
Then the next season they were the best team in football and just got picked by the Rams in the last kind of couple of minutes, close, right? Yeah. And the Rams won the Super Bowl. So they were a really, really good team. But they had nothing left the next season. Like they overspent. Everything was going. And the couple of wins last year, I mean, they got 9-9 and made the playoffs, right? But again, in a bad division.
Weapons have got Evans and who's the other big?
Godwin.
Yep. Right. Getting on a bit, but still better than many
again,
others.
He's a very good slot receiver. But
good defence.
Yeah, I've got them bottom as well.
Yeah.
And I've got the Bucks bottom. I think they've. And again, I don't think if you were a Bucks fan or you were the Glazers who owned them, you would care because you got your Super Bowl a couple of years ago, right? And that's all that matters. If it takes 10 years to get a Super Bowl and then another 10 years of being in the doldrums, you take it because it's just that good.
Yeah, I wish I felt that way about Man U, but
they don't mind the doldrums with Man U.
Absolutely.
But I've taken the Saints to win the division. I think Carr will be a stud at the Saints. I think with the weapons they've got, Olave's a brilliant wide receiver. We're going to see hopefully a fit Michael Thomas. I think they've recruited a couple of good running backs to kind of take the load off of Kamara and help Kamara be more of maybe a target as well.
And Derek Carr will have the between his.
Derek Carr I think he's a really good player, so I think they'll be good. So I get them to win it, but again, I don't have them being like a 10 or 11 win team. I just have them winning the division. I've got the Falcons number 2. I think Bijan Robinson is a stud.
Yeah, right.
I think he's the best running back I've seen since Saquon, and I think he's going to be. Electric. I think everything's going to go through him as long as he stays fit, because that's the main thing with running backs.
If you haven't, if anyone hasn't, you got to watch the video of him getting tackled.
And gets his neck snapped. It looks like it's snapped and he's back up.
But he gets absolutely thrown in the air and he does about 12 somersaults, which is quite scary.
But anyway, I think everything will go through him, and I think they will pick the Panthers. I think the Panthers, for the points you made, good coach, good number 1 quarterback. I think the number 1 quarterback's too small. And I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to
smart enough to obviously know that protection is key.
Yeah, but I just don't think he's going to be the guy we thought everyone hoped he'd be. I think he'll be a bit of a flop as a number 1 pick. Wow. Yeah, and only because the Bucks are a basket case, I've got them last. Otherwise, I would have the Panthers last. So I get Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks.
Right, we will have that on our Insta page, with all the picks with the relevant Shoey bets attached. That's it for the NFC.
Who's going to win the AFC? Who's going to win the NFC? And who's going to win the Super Bowl? just quickly. I'll go first. I'll let you think.
Obviously I've noted my NFC pick, but yeah, you carry on, mate.
So I'm going to go, and I'm going to random because it's the start of the season, so nothing ever comes out as it's supposed to anyway. So I'm going to go Chargers to win the AFC.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go Cowboys to win the NFC, and I'm going to go Chargers to beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I love the Chargers, and I'd love that to happen. I'm going. I just can't trust Tua to stay fit as a bit of an outside. I'm going to go Bengals playing the 49ers.
Yep, that's probably more sensible than mine, but
49ers to get it done.
Cool.
Finally, Shanahan's going to have his ring.
Fair enough. I don't mind the 49ers. I've got a 49ers shirt. I've got a Chargers shirt. I'm buying them all now at the moment. I'm trying to give myself as many opportunities. But I think the Chargers could be a real sneaky this year. And again, you pick a team at the start of the season, you always go, like last year it was the Bills for me, and they just got worse. It started off amazing, they got worse. I didn't see the Eagles in any way, shape or form, but they came through amazing.
Yeah.
I think... And the 49ers are an easy one to predict from that side of the draw anyway.
Yeah.
But I think the Cowboys could be the sneaky one there, and I think the Chargers could be the sneaky one here.
For me,
Chiefs, it should be, if you're a smart man, you go Chiefs 49ers, right?
Yeah.
Two best teams in each division, but it just never works that way. You know it doesn't. It always changes.
It's just so hard to bet.
Mahomes will get injured, or...
It's so hard to bet against the Chiefs, but to do it every
You can't keep picking them.
No,
but it's boring to pick them as well. That's the saying. It's like there's no fun in going, oh, Man City to win the league.
Yeah, but you've got to. But what do you believe in it? And if you go with the Chiefs, no one's going to.
Well, what I believe in is that NFL, anything can happen.
100%.
So picking the favourite and then it doesn't happen is more disappointing than taking a punt on something and then it coming good. That's my.
I don't think. Well, it's nice to have a big swing, but I think at times it's also realistic to go. You're dealing with possibly.
Well, you didn't go Chiefs either, did you? You were Bengals.
Just purely because I think the Bengals are just about going to get it right this year.
They were a good band, the old Bengals, weren't they? Looked like an Egyptian.
Now, if anyone has been sad enough to listen to us for as long as I have done, please get us on Instagram, Blueies and Shoeys. We're now on Spotify. We're also on YouTube. Please comment. Let us know your picks for the relevant divisions.
We do enjoy hearing how rubbish we are and how wrong we are. The particular favourites were the top 4, top 6 in the Prem. There's a lot of debate around that. Now, that's obviously, there's like 8 teams could be in the top 4 or in the top 6 in any order. So that was good banter. If you do like NFL, you do follow this part of our podcast, let us know who you think. I'd be keen particularly to find out if anyone really thinks the Jets can do it this year, the Eagles are going to back it up, or if this could finally be the Bills' year.
Who are your outside bets? Again, I think someone like the Dolphins, the Chargers.
I like the Chargers. I picked them.
Ravens, Steelers. God, I mean,
I like the Ravens as well, to be honest. I really do like the Ravens.
So who are your dark horses? Comment on our Insta page. We'll have that all posted. And cheers for the support.